Yeah, and just like that, it's kind of go time. Like I said, I don't do any fancy intros or anything like that. But for the listeners today, we have the Muay Thai guy, Sean Fagan. I believe I'm saying that correctly. Um,
Yes, you're good.
Perfect. But yeah, it's almost impossible to kind of type in Muay Thai in YouTube and not have Muay Thai guy pop up, or it's all over Instagram as well. You got what 198,000 on Instagram and 262 on YouTube. Um, thousand that is 262,000 subscribers on YouTube. So you have quite the busy life, I can imagine. So hopefully we can get into that. But first, why don't you kind of just give us a little intro? Kind of start your story off, who you are, where you're originally from, because you're in Thailand right now, I believe, right?
No, I actually just moved back to where I'm originally from.
Oh, okay. All right,
hmm
cool. Well, yeah. How about we just kind of start there then?
Cool. Yeah. So I'm Sean Fagan, otherwise known as the Muay Thai guy. It's kind of crazy when you mention just like the following I have is always a little bizarre to actually like take in and
Yeah.
realize how much like impact I have and how like if you do Google Muay Thai, I pop up. I'm really grateful for all that though, and it's been a huge part in allowing me to live a life more on my terms and pursue my passions through Muay Thai and be able to help other people do that. I'm originally from upstate New York in a small town called New Paltz. My wife and I, we just actually moved back here and we just got settled in. And it's been a nice change of pace. We've been living in Thailand for the past a little over 3 years, all throughout COVID. We haven't been back to see family until relatively recently. And when we came back to see family, my wife was pregnant. And so it was just really nice being near family and friends after being on an island in Thailand for 2 years. And so we decided to make the move back here. And I've also recently retired from fighting professionally. And I'm focusing on other areas of my life while still maintaining my training, still coaching, still teaching. And that's where I'm at right now, man.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. With this huge following that you have, do you feel like it kind of gives you a voice, or do you feel like it's almost like put you into like this box of like, you only do instructionals type thing, or has it given you kind of like a creative space to kind of let something out a little bit?
Yeah, it's weird, man. Internet is weird. Social media is weird, and we're still
Oh
like
yeah.
all getting used to it. When I first started, I knew to I knew I wanted to fight because fighting really helped me learn about myself and grow as a human being. And I saw a lot of potential out of the ability to kind of like share my journey with other people. And so that's where I started blogging, creating YouTube videos, doing all this kind of stuff. And it kind of morphed into this thing that it is today. And that started about like 10 years ago or so. And it's been weird to be, it's funny because when I started MuayThaiGuy.com, I didn't think that I would be the Muay Thai guy. I thought that was just a cool name for a website, like, oh, MuayThaiGuy.com, And then I didn't think about it. And then all of a sudden I am the Muay Thai guy. And it's a little weird to get used to. I do feel I've had bouts with it, to be honest. I've had bouts with like imposter syndrome of like feeling uh just genuine like online and feeling like I'm just talking about Muay Thai all the time and I'm not really sharing my true thoughts on things. And so I do feel like it kind of painted me in a corner in a way,
Mhm.
in some aspects. Uh Showing up on social media, it's funny because like you see me on YouTube, you see me on Instagram, and I look very like outgoing and extroverted. But man, I keep to myself. I am as introverted as they come. I love my alone time. And so getting all this extra attention and people reaching out to me and everything. I love the my fans and everything. They allow me to do what I'm able to do. But it was a little overwhelming at first. Still is a little overwhelming. Still trying to figure the shit out. It's
Yeah.
not they don't have like a rule book for how to be a Muay Thai influencer or influencer in general. And so it's definitely been a little getting used to with the new stage in my life. I'm going to continue creating Muay Thai content on Muay Thai Guy, but I want to be getting into more just diverse discussions about life, about high performance, about just everything, and
Yeah.
not just talk about Muay Thai all the time. I was doing a podcast for a while and it was a lot of fun, interviewing fighters and chatting with my friends about Muay Thai. But then after a while, you just kind of start saying the same things over and over again. And there's only so many times you can
Yeah.
like do that. And I felt like Muay Thai is, I love Muay Thai. Obviously, I've dedicated a lot of my life to it. I have a lot of respect for fighters and the people involved with it, but I see it more as a tool to help me become a better human. And so, although you see me just talk about Muay Thai all the time, Muay Thai was just essentially the building block, the vehicle to help me get to other goals in my life, whether it be financial freedom, personal freedom, growth, personal development, and that kind of stuff. And so now I'm trying to pivot a little bit of my messaging towards that while still helping people learn Muay Thai and use Muay Thai as a way to better themselves, become more disciplined, become more confident, and like able to defend themselves. And so, although there's been times where I kind of like resented it almost in a way, it's always come circled back around to me being able to impact people in a positive way, help change people's lives, whether it's losing weight, having their first fight, whatever it may be. And now I can hopefully be able to continue to spread the message, but do a little bit more diverse, if you will.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's crazy that when I started this thing, and just calling it a fighter's story, I found like I thought that, talking to fighters about their story would be amazing until you get some of those guys that all they can talk about is fighting, and then you're just like, oh man, like it seems like you kind of missed the point, because like you said, Muay Thai is kind of it's almost like the door to a spiritual journey for me anyway.
For
It,
sure.
it definitely like I'm very new to Muay Thai. I've been doing jiu-jitsu for a minute, but had like this huge medical thing happen that got me into martial arts. Is kind of like my rebound, and Muay Thai has it's given me something that I didn't expect because a lot of my friends will be like, "Oh, you go to a fight gym, they're calling it, and you must be around a bunch of like savages all day." And I'm like, actually, like, there's some of like the nicest, most humble, nerdiest people, like that you'll ever meet in your life, and it's hard for people to kind of understand that. And for me, coming from like the meathead bodybuilding, gym like world, it's so negative. That thing you were talking about, that imposter syndrome, I've struggled with that my entire life. And so I'm realizing that Muay Thai is giving me this vehicle to kind of communicate with people in a more vulnerable manner, and have conversations about actual life, and kind of like see how people get places, and seeing somebody else fail, get back up, and then overcome that, that's kind of what Muay Thai has given me. So
That
it's
is fighting, that's martial
yeah,
arts. It's just
yeah,
like
exactly.
getting your ass whooped over and over again until you figure out how to not get your ass whooped. And so like you talk about like bodybuilding and stuff, and I have a lot of respect for people who have the discipline and the ability to do that kind of stuff. There's not a lot of humbling experiences to that. With fighting, you get instant responses, and you will get humbled quickly. There's no
Yeah,
bullshit. If you're good or you're bad, like if that guy's better than you.
yeah.
And so it's a little bit more insightful in that sense, at least for me. I used to lift weights before Muay Thai as well and focus mainly on like aesthetics. I didn't do like bodybuilding or anything,
Mhm.
but you soon quickly realize that like muscles don't mean you know how to fight. Fighting doesn't know you mean you know how to actually control your aggression, control your emotions and everything. And so there's just so many different layers to it. And I think if you just talk about just the fighting aspect of fighting, even though it kind of sounds like counterintuitive, there's so much more to be learned from that, because fighting does have its benefits. Like that's why I fought, is because it pushes you, it challenges you in ways that you can't imagine, and you have to find out about yourself, whether you're as tough as you think you are, whether you would give up when your back's up against the wall, whether injuries would stop your progress, and so on and so forth. And so that's the beauty of martial arts, is because it kind of just allows you to see that there's ups and downs to everything, and you're always striving for perfection, knowing that you're never going to fucking reach it. You're trying to be the best you can, but you know that you'll never ultimately release your full potential. And the same goes for life. And that's why I'm trying to start to spread, like, you can be a champion in the ring, you can be a champion fighter, but I'm more about being a champion husband right now, being a champion soon to be father, being a champion businessman, being a champion of everything.
Yeah.
And if I can use the same tools that I used in Muay Thai and these other aspects of my life, then it's fucking game over, man.
Yeah, yeah, and it's weird once you start looking at things as a game. Like you say game over, like I feel like a lot of people say that jokingly, but in reality, if you look at it as like a game, like if you fail, like you can hit the reset button and start again, a
Spawn
different.
again, bro.
Yeah, like it's you don't like I just look at it as like it's hard to fail if you never quit, like
That's
you just learned and
well said.
yeah, you just learned something. Um, but so you've obviously had millions of lessons, just like little small life lessons. Every practice I get one. So how did you even start getting into this? Is it something you're like, you know what, mom? I wanna go out and the most violent sport known to man, Muay Thai. I want to learn that. Like how did you get into it? Because you got into it fairly young, I believe, right?
Uh, I got into it when I was like 2021.
Yeah.
When I don't know whether that's young or not, depending
For
on
I feel
who I'm
like for
talking to, right?
Americans it's kind of like the average. It's
Now, as the sport's growing, you see a lot more teenagers and kids getting into it, which is awesome.
yeah.
Because, like I said, the lessons you learn training martial arts is just like so valuable. But I guess I'll tell like a short, long story if that makes any sense. When
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was growing up, I always played team sports. I was always like skinnier than most kids. I was always small. I was kind of bullied a little bit. Nothing like serious. There was a couple times where I was like shoved in a locker. There was a couple times where I just got picked on for being small, and being like super skinny. And so there was always that insecurity in the back of my head as I was growing up of feeling like I can't defend myself. And so I always like shied away from confrontation, always shied away from the idea of fighting. I thought boxing and MMA was so stupid, man. But I played hockey and baseball growing up, and I loved competing. I loved the idea of winning and just improving and that kind of stuff. But the thing is, with like baseball and hockey, I always felt like my fate was in the coach's hands. Like depending on where I played, how much time I played, what position I played, and I didn't have any control of like how well I did. Well, obviously I did. Like I can practice and do all that kind of stuff, but ultimately the coach decides whether or not I get to play or not.
Yeah.
And I felt kind of overlooked a lot. I've just figured this out recently, by the way, after a whole fight career of like this is why I actually started fighting. But after that, hockey, I was always in scuffles in hockey, and it was something about the competitive nature of being able to fight in a sport that I was able to separate from like fighting in real life. And I started to just get more curious about like just the idea of fighting. And then one game, I was in the penalty box for like half the game, man. And like I was just fighting people and hitting people. And my mom was at that game. And then after the game, she jokingly said, like, I don't even understand why you play hockey. You should just join a boxing gym and box if you're going to do that. And I don't think she realized what she like planted in my head, because then I signed up for a fucking boxing gym and
Yeah.
started training from there. Boxing organically led to MMA, trying MMA out. I enjoyed it. I learned a lot with jujitsu and wrestling. I didn't take to it though. It was definitely forced, I felt like, to continue training it.
Mhm.
And I just naturally kind of gravitated towards the stand up striking. And so eventually, when I was like 20 years old, I was a lot of serendipitous events kind of just like happened all at once. So when I was 18, my best friend died in a car accident, just like suddenly. You just don't expect that kind of stuff. And it really gives you a different perspective to look through. It hit me hard. I never really dealt with death, especially someone close to me. And so that made me really take a step back and kind of reflect. I was depressed for a while. I was smoking a lot of weed, killing a lot of Nazi zombies on Call of Duty, and just kind of wasting life away.
Oh yeah.
And then I remember just one day I was like, I'm just like wasting my life, man. I'm just like, what am I doing? And if my friend Devin was alive, like he'd be living, and I'm not living right now. So I started reading a lot, because after school I was never good in school, right? Because I was always never liked people tell me what to do, what to study, what to do, right? So when I was finally able to kind of decide what I wanted to read and what I wanted to study, I was opened up to a lot more in the world. So I read The Fighter's Heart by Sam Sheridan, which was about his journey to Thailand to have his first fight, to Brazil to study jiu-jitsu, to the US to do wrestling, to Japan to study Aikido, and so on and so forth. And that really just inspired me to be like, oh, like that'd be so cool to travel in all these different cultures and learn their martial arts. And it scared me too. And that's kind of like the exciting aspect of it. It's like it really put some fear into me of traveling across the world. I never really traveled before. And then studying a martial art where you can like get seriously hurt. But I also read at the same time The 4 Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss. This was before like it was a thing, especially before COVID, right?
Yeah.
Everyone after COVID is an online entrepreneur now.
Yeah.
But with Tim Ferriss, he kind of planted the idea of like, oh, I can make money anywhere in the world doing what I love to do. So it just kind of was in my head, and those two things aligned. Then I got fired from my job. My girlfriend broke up with me. My lease was ending, and then I also won a online poker tournament for like 15 grand. And I was like, holy shit! Like, what am I going to do with this money? I'm going to Thailand to train and fight and see what this shit is all about. So I went to Thailand, had my first 3 fights, and after my third fight, I remember going back to my bungalow, looking in the mirror, and just deciding then and there, I'm like, this is what I'm fucking doing. I'm gonna figure it out. And like you were saying before, like I ain't gonna fail because I'm not gonna quit. And no matter what, I'm just gonna keep moving forward. And so since that moment on in 2010 or 2011, I'm so bad with years, I don't fucking remember.
Yeah.
But ever since then, I've been putting my head down, working hard, trying to create this life of my vision. And so far, so good, man. I'm very grateful and appreciative of the journey that I've had.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy. I don't know if you've experienced this, but I've talked to a few other people, and it seems like, and even for myself, in doing something alone, kind of like when you're wanting to do something outside the norm, like the normality of a 9 to 5, or you're trying to really do something great, it is lonely as shit. And you have support from a distance, it seems like, but like while you're in it, it feels very lonely. Did you experience that kind of in the start? Or did you have a lot of family and support and everything around you kind of pushing you along? But
A combination. I am fortunate enough to have a good family. Like I have parents who support me and they love me. They never really understood. Maybe my dad understood. He does some computer work and he studied taekwondo and karate as a kid, so he understood why I wanted to fight.
mhm,
He understood the idea of like starting an online business, but they didn't understand necessarily how I was going to do that. My mom had no idea why I wanted to fight. She finally came to terms with why I wanted to do that. But ultimately, they still supported me because that's what I wanted to do, and they were like, "If that's what you want to do, like go ahead and do it." But everyone else, well, not everyone else, but most other people, not that they would say it to my face, but when I told them I'm going to become a professional Muay Thai fighter, travel the world, and make money doing it by starting a blog, like it was fucking crazy talk. And people were like, "Oh yeah, that's cool. Like, let me know when it works. That sounds like a cute idea, you know?"
yeah,
And sure enough, like I just stuck with it. And now a lot of the same people are like, "How'd you do it? Like, how'd you figure that out?" I'm like, well, like 10 years ago, I started it and I just kind of kept with it. But it's really easy to for people to shut you down when it's beyond their scope of imagination and their scope of belief, because a lot of people will just shine their insecurities onto you. You
mhm,
tell them you're going to travel to Thailand to fight and everything, they think that's crazy, right? Because they would never do that because they're too scared to do that. That's why they're telling you that's crazy. And so you have to take everything with a grain of salt. You have to have tunnel vision, man. You have to just like stay in your own lane, be super clear in what you want to be doing, where you want to be going, and also try to surround yourself with people who actually breathe fire into your vision. You know, my wife, for example, Liz, I always say she's like my Adrian to my Rocky. You know, she always just helped me overcome all the obstacles that come with professional fighting, with entrepreneurship. And so having a good support system around you is going to be really important to make sure that when you do fall off, when you do lose a little self-belief, when you have more self-doubt, they can kind of pull you up and tell it and like remind you of like why you're doing what you're doing. And so I don't know if you were asking for advice. Maybe I'm giving unsolicited advice, but that's just how I've been able to work.
yeah. No, it's funny because like right before we started, I said like I've been having like a shitty week. I actually, so I went to rehab like 4 years ago for drugs and alcohol. Kind of changed everything around. Went through this big medical crash, and this whole time I've been trying to work up to this grad school application. And yesterday found out that I got denied, so I won't get to apply for like another year. And I was watching one of your videos to where you were talking about your first pro loss actually, and how you were kind of like, down and out, and they called to see if you wanted to take a fight or whatever. I can let you tell the story. But then your wife kind of chimed up and everything, and so like I have, that chick. I actually have, I'm engaged, so I have a
Oh,
fiance, and
beautiful,
she's,
man. Congrats.
yeah, she's amazing. I don't know how she's making it through this crazy period, because it's like trying to actually have to pick yourself up, and going through that struggle. I don't know how well I would be handling a lot of shit that's been going on if it wasn't for martial arts. And then you also said something else that reminded me of a quote. It was don't tell small-minded people big dreams, like they just won't understand. And so kind of like seeing somebody that's taken, like what could just be like a normal life, and traveling all the way to Thailand to pursue something that you're very passionate about. How scary was that? I mean, to actually get on the plane and to just take off and say, fuck it, I'm doing this, like,
It was more exciting than it was scary, to be honest, because I looked at it in the lens that this is going to be a crazy learning experience. Like I'm gonna learn from this in one form or another. I might lose my fights. I might hate Muay Thai after this, but after this, I'll know more about myself and what direction in life I want to be going.
mhm,
And so I was just really trying to root down into one thing that I always try to explain to people about, like how I've been able to quote unquote be successful with my career in some aspects is I always had a really clear vision of where I wanted to go and why I wanted to go there. And as long as I was always able to connect with that, even when I had the downs, I was able to pick myself back up thanks to help of like my wife and my friends as well. But most of the time it was me picking myself back up and telling me that, you know what, like this is just a minor setback. The end goal and like being able to impact people and change people's lives and make money while doing it. So this way I can have ultimate freedom with my life. That's what I want to be doing. I want to make money by helping people unleash their full potential through Muay Thai. And so as long as I was able to continue to connect with that, didn't matter what other people thought. I had haters in the beginning, man. So many people talk so much shit. People still talk shit, Even UFC champions have critics, no matter what,
yeah,
no matter how good you are, at what you do, people will always be criticizing and judging you. So if you can develop some type of thick skin, which is much needed on the internet nowadays, that's going to help you just kind of be able to push through as well, because people are going to doubt you. People are going to hate you for no fucking reason too. They'll just hate
mhm,
on you, like
yeah,
no matter what. Like the one thing I heard someone say, I can't remember who I can take this quote from, but 20% of people are going to love you. 20% of people are going to hate you. And 60% of the people are the people you're trying to convince to like you and love you a little bit more. But no matter what, there's always going to be 20% of people that no matter what, might be your personality, might be your nose, might be your fucking whatever, laugh. They'll just find reasons to hate you, whether
yeah,
it's genuine or whether it's because it's their own insecurities. So ultimately, though, when I hopped on that plane to Thailand, I kept that vision super clear. Every trip that I made to Thailand, I went yearly pretty much until we moved there. I kept in grounded in the idea of that I want to make a living doing this. I want to change people's lives, and I don't want to answer to a boss or anything like that.
yeah. Yeah, you said something at the beginning that I was actually kind of curious how it tied in with you being in Thailand. Um, so my teacher, coach, whatever you want to call him, his name is Meiti Jepadik. He's from Thailand. So he has a Lumpini belt. Um, he's the amount of belts this guy has out of Thailand is
This is
ridiculous.
that's as legit as it gets. A Lupini belt.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And then him and his father, like their family has a dragon leg. It's like their own style of Muay Thai. So
No shit.
he's brutal on us. And he's very traditional. So like going all the way back to like he doesn't like the clinching style of Muay Thai. And then you being, I mean, not to be blunt or anything, but you're a white dude and you're going to Thailand to where, like that's their national sport is Muay Thai, and you said that you've had like imposter syndrome in the past. Did you have like in the imposter syndrome going into Thailand to, learn and fight in Muay Thai and being an outsider, did you experience that at all, or was it a more inviting
Oh,
experience than
sorry.
I'm envisioning?
Sorry, someone like just called my phone and like messed up my stream because it's connected to my computer. My bad.
Oh
Anyway,
yeah, no, it's
um,
showing up good
I
here.
had imposter syndrome then the entire time, man. Like I still deal with imposter syndrome. It's something that's always kind of like a little troll in the back of my head. Try to
Mhm.
suffocate it, try not to breathe any air to it. But yeah, man, going to Thailand, fighting the Thais at their own game. Thais are tough, dude. Like they know the sport very well. They're very tough to win fights against. And at my weight class, that's all I was. I was just fighting Thais all the time. And it was really great though. I mean, the beauty of it too is like whenever I have this imposter syndrome, right? I just root back down to that vision, right? Doesn't matter how much of a phony I think I am. I'm just going to keep going forward because ultimately I'm going to change people's lives. I'm going to make, as cliche as it sounds, I'm going to make the world a better place. And I'm going to be able to do what I love to do as a living. And so I just always kept circling back to that. Whenever any injuries happen, whenever any losses happen, whenever any doubts, imposter syndrome happened, I just always rooted back to my vision. And I really think my obsession with my vision has really helped me succeed. And the clarity of my vision has helped me succeed. It changes often,
Mhm.
but I'm always doing uh, visualization exercises. I'm always journaling. I'm always setting goals, not just on New Year's. Like I'm setting goals all the time. I'm creating my schedule. I'm trying to figure out how to be more efficient with my time. And so ultimately, like I said, I had imposter syndrome. I still do, but I stay connected to why I'm doing what I'm doing. And the imposter syndrome seems so minute compared
Yeah.
to everything else that I want to be doing. So it's almost like doing people a disservice by not just shutting out off that imposter syndrome and be able to help people. I feel like if I were, I also think about this a little morbid about like when I die, like what am I going to be known for? And like, will I even be known at all? When I die, I want people to just be like, well, Sean was a cool dude. He helped me with Muay Thai and it helped me become a slightly better person, you know?
Yeah.
If I didn't do any of that on my deathbed, who the fuck is going to care about me? What type of footprint will I leave on the world? What type of legacy will I leave on the world? And I don't want to regret not trying to pursue things because of some self doubt or some haters on the internet, on the YouTube comment section talking shit. And so
Yeah,
as
for
long as
sure.
I stay connected with my vision, nothing else fucking matters, man.
Yeah, and I think that's how you like it's a weird thing. I've heard you say a few things that's kind of tied into my life to where so I've been journaling a lot and you said like when you originally said success, you put it in air quotes and then you said succeed, but that kind of came out smoother. It almost seems like I've seen a lot of people be afraid of using the word or the statement I'm successful. So it's even though I don't know why. You're
It's weird.
extremely
It's just
yeah.
fake humble bullshit. Like
Yeah.
if you're too humble, how are you ever going to believe in yourself enough to actually like continue pushing through? You need to find the right balance of like a
Yeah,
healthy
yeah.
ego and an ego that's in check. But like I am successful. Like I am happy to be in the position in my life. I'm very fortunate as well to
Yeah,
be a middle
definitely.
class white male. Like I got a lot of good cards dealt my way, but I fucking worked hard at it as well. And
Yeah,
so
yeah.
why not like appreciate my success and just instead of just tampering it down. Like I'm not going to go and brag about everything, but when I'm talking about it, when I'm asking questions about it, I'm also
Mhm.
going to just be real, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I don't know. I don't think I've ever had an actual definition for what I thought success was until I
Oh
started.
man, that's so important.
Yeah, until like I started journaling, and it was like 2 days ago, maybe 3 days ago. And you ever like just be writing something down, you see a couple words, and then it just clicks, and you can say the same saying, but a whole new meaning is attached to it. And it just happened to write down learning, and then like the next line was success. And I was like, shit, like success is learning,
Mm-hmm.
and you can't learn unless you fail, and you have to continue to keep going, and that's kind of what makes you successful. And you can measure it by how many times you get back up. And so that was kind of like how I define success, and you've had like, different areas of success. So would you define what success is to you today, I guess? Is that
Success is just being able to wake up, breathe in some air, and like appreciate what I've been able to do with my life, whether it's
yeah.
the small things like being able to, well, I don't know what small things I'm thinking of, or like having dogs, right? Like it just appreciating my dogs, like just being more present is like success to me, and being a little bit more rooted in my day to day. It's really easy to get lost in like future goals and everything, and then judge yourself based off not being able to achieve those goals. And
Mhm.
so I always try to root down to like, what have I achieved already? And what do I want to achieve? What do I get to do today to work towards my goals? But success to me is ultimately like freedom, like personal freedom, financial freedom, freedom to say, do what I want, how I want to do it, and live anywhere in the world, do whatever I want on any given day. That's ultimate success for me. Have I gotten to that? Not yet. I'm getting there, but I
Yeah.
still qualify a lot of my journey as a successful part of my journey. I love what you said before about learning is like the end game, right? Because it is like, I feel like humans' life purpose, more or less, is to learn and grow and to evolve. You know, that's all that we've been doing, whether you believe in evolution or not. I don't know how
Yeah.
this is going, right? But when it comes to evolution, like you should be evolving, you should be growing, you should be trying to improve yourself and the people around you. That's just like a tangible energy that you're able to create around yourself. And then you just pass on good vibes to everyone else. You help other people, lift them up while they're down, and just creates a better environment to be around. So I guess success for me, I kind of went all the way around with a bunch of different sidebars, but yeah, personal freedom while also being able to like change people's lives for the better. Like
Yeah.
that's ultimate success for me.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I like that answer. I don't like black and white, straightforward answers. They don't really give you
Success
much
is
to
having $1 million, right?
yeah, it doesn't
Yeah.
give you much to like think about, talk about. It's just kind of like, oh, okay, that's how it is. uh Dear God. Yeah, it's crazy how success does change for everybody. But you found a way to do it by yourself. I don't know if like you have like other people around you with the production of the videos or anything, but it's essentially up forever, and you can use that content as like educational material to impact not just what you put up now, like the like 60-minute fighter follow along workout, like that you put up whenever you put it up a year ago, that's going to be up in 20 years, so that's also another like avenue of like income that you have coming in that a lot of people aren't always thinking about, something that can kind of put you forward ahead of time. Do you have other avenues that you're getting into that you're bringing the Muay Thai guy to, or are you kind of branching off into more, behind the scenes type things?
So I'll give you a breakdown of my business. How's that sound?
Perfect.
All right. So YouTube and social media doesn't pay, like especially in the Muay Thai scene. It's not a niche where a lot of advertisers are like itching to get in. So
Right. Yeah.
off YouTube, I have 250,000 YouTube subscribers. I make anywhere between like 500 to $1,000 a month off YouTube ads. If you're in the financial world, or you're in even the MMA world, you might be making a lot more than that. But ads and social media is more used to generate leads, to have people kind of sign up for emails, subscribe to my content, and just be more immersed in my circle of Muay Thai content, more or less. What we're trying to move towards is, like I said, I want to be helping people not just with Muay Thai, but with life. And so I've done a group coaching program, or first I did a beta one-on-one coaching program with 5 individuals called the Champion of Life. And this is where I'm kind of sharing my practical methods, philosophies, systems that have helped me achieve what I've achieved, and be able to consider myself as someone who is striving to be a champion of life. Whether I am or not, That's debatable, but that's what I'm striving to be. I'm trying to be a champion in all aspects of my life.
Mhm.
So I'll be coming out with a podcast for that. I'll be coming out with a group coaching program, which will release relatively soon. And that is something I'm really excited about because it's just a different thing to dive into. Like this conversation has been fun because it hasn't just been about Muay Thai. You know, usually when people get me on interviews, it's all Muay Thai. And I love Muay Thai. But when it's all you fucking do, you need a goddamn break from Muay Thai, man.
Yeah,
You
right.
know? But yeah, ultimately then that is the direction where we're going. We also host Muay Thai retreats around the world, and I'm trying to get that more delegated. So I'm not the only host. So right now we have 3 Costa Rica retreats scheduled for June, July, and August. You can go to MuayThaiVacations.com to check those out. We have great hosts who are both fighters and active competitors who are also great instructors who are hosting it. And I'm looking to broaden that and try to get more qualified instructors, more locations, and that kind of stuff as well. Because, like you said, there's something about the martial arts world, the Muay Thai world, where the people that you meet are just fucking cool, man. They're just like
Yeah.
my type of people. And so people who travel and train Muay Thai, those are definitely my type of people. And so we started creating these events just so we can meet more like-minded people. Cause like you said, in like your day-to-day life, like here in New Paltz, New York, where I live right now, Muay Thai is barely known. You
Yeah.
know, people don't know who I am or what I do really. And when I tell people I'm a professional Muay Thai fighter, fucking crazy. You know, you don't hear that every day. Where in
Yeah.
Thailand, I was around other professional fighters and other people doing the same shit that I was doing. And so that was really helpful, just being around people who didn't think of me as crazy, but thought of me as just, oh, that's just what you do. That's what I'm doing too. Crazy, right? And so we try to kind of replicate that with these retreats so people kind of don't feel alone in their Muay Thai journey. Because I know a lot of people are able to go to gyms, but some people aren't. And that's why like my YouTube and everything is a good outlet as well. And then they can come to these retreats, teach me a thing or two from my own technique videos, and then just have some fun, eat some food. And these trips are awesome, man. Not to keep rambling, but we did one in Greece in 2018. And after that, we my wife and I got married at the end of a retreat in Greece, and so the whole retreat group came to our wedding. It was
Oh,
so
that's
much fun
awesome.
then. And then also our families and friends came too. So it was like a week long shit show, man, with just like Muay Thai, drinking, partying, and enjoying Greece. And then by the time wedding came, everyone was kind of like tired out by then. So it was a little bit of a tamer wedding night because everyone kind of got their party game on
Yeah.
the whole week before.
Yeah. No, that's awesome though. It does kind of seem like Muay Thai gives you a second family. Like
Oh, for sure.
you really have to trust your training partners not to hurt you. They have to trust you, and you end up building it's more than just friendships. You kind of have like a bond with people after a time, and especially traveling around to different tournaments and fights, and just sitting in a car with somebody for 5, 6, 7 hours. You learn to like them in a different light, and kind of get to see everybody differently. So you gain a different respect for them, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I know you are an extremely busy dude, and you got to get out of here. Um, so you were talking about these retreats. What else do you have kind of coming up, and where can everybody get a hold of you at? Obviously, Muay Thai guy, you Google that. But just kind of like throw out everything where everybody can find you, and what you got coming up besides the retreats.
Well, yeah. So appreciate first off, I appreciate the interview, man. It's always fun talking with like-minded people who are doing similar things. So keep doing your thing, man.
Yeah,
It's
thank
cool
you,
to see other
thank you.
people
Yeah,
like
my
pursuing this kind
pleasure,
of stuff.
my pleasure.
Um, check MuayThaiGuy.com is probably the number one place that you can go to. Sign up for email updates. That's where like you get everything. That's where you get like behind the scenes of my training, my life, upcoming events, discounts, promotions, free giveaways, and like that kind of stuff for like boxing gloves or cool Not More Nation and Muay Thai Guy tank tops and stuff. So signing up for emails is definitely the best way to go. But if you don't do emails, you don't want to do that, you can find me on social media. Like you said, just Google Muay Thai Guy. I'm fucking everywhere, man. You'll find me. You will find
Yeah,
me.
no, that's awesome. All right, man. Yeah, and the best part about what you do is you literally just need a bag, a pair of gloves, and maybe a mirror, just to make sure you're doing what you think you're doing. Other than that, you don't need anything.
You don't even need a bag. You don't even need a
Yeah,
fucking bag, man.
yeah. No, I've gone to classes a few times with Métis to where it's just footwork. I don't put gloves on or anything. It's me in a mirror for 2 hours, and my calves are killing me. So
Yeah, I feel you, man.
shit's brutal at times. But all right, man. No, I really appreciate you coming on. I wish you luck in everything that you do, and I'm gonna put down in the show notes. I'll put everything down there so people can some reach out and give you some love. So,
Appreciate it,
but
Rob. Thanks so
yeah,
much for having me on, man.
all right. I appreciate you, Sean. Have a good one.